Good morning, everyone. It's April 1st right now. It's a Monday morning. So I'm providing a bit of an update. We had some heavy rains over the weekend. It literally started from Friday, 2 a.m. in the morning, all the way till Sunday afternoon. There was some breaks in between, but it really didn't stop raining until Sunday afternoon, at least in my area here. So lots of heavy rain, lots of wind. So we had storms this weekend. The weekend prior, we had the whole weekend it rained too. So it's been a very kind of windy and rainy March. So we're in April right now. Hopefully there's no more late storms and all that. So we're gonna check out the blooms on these varieties and see how it's done. Unfortunately, just depending on the timing, if anything was blooming and the flowers was just kind of wide open during this period, there's gonna probably be damage, whether it's from the rain, the cold, the wind, or a bit of fungal damage. Just because when the flowers in full bloom, most of those are the first ones to get damaged. So let's take a look at it, see how it's going. Okay, so this is Dolores, and the blooms look okay so far, but there's already early symptoms, signs of powdery mildew, and the yellowing of these leaves. And hopefully it should get better once we get into warmer weather and get some new vegetative growth and so forth. This was the last branch of Lil Gem. The fruit I ended up picking the last one, I think it was on the 26th or something like that. So the fruits last until March, but it seemed to have a very kind of short window of picking, because I picked the first fruit March 1st. That didn't ripen properly. I picked two more, I would say 2 weeks after, so it was probably about March 14th, 15th, and those ripened perfectly. I had one more left, and I didn't pick that until I think about a week or to 10 days afterwards. So I think it might have been like the 24th or the 26th, and that was way overripe. Like it was already getting soft. So at least the window for picking Little Gem, it seems like it'll be pretty short. So everything probably ripens in like a month. That's just some observation. But this is my first year growing it or fruiting it. So we'll see what happens going forward in the future. But that's just my observation on Little Gem. So I picked the last one already. So they came from this branch right here. And I still have like several more limbs of it. There's some early signs of bloom on this. Some of this too. Let's see. I don't really need any more blooms this year, but see what happens. Okay. This right here is a lemon zest, which has remarkably been pretty clean for me so far. See, and this right here is my seedling, which I just been kind of calling California Romit. Blooms don't look too good right now. Let's see. I do see some fruitlets here and there, but I don't know if they can end up being any kind of healthy fruits or anything like that. Okay. Here's Sunrise. So a little bit of damage. Kind of held up a bit better than I thought. So let's see. Sunrise. Here's Super Julie. Some are damaged, some are still very nice. Super Julie has that really nice, deep kind of reddish blooms. It's very pretty. So Super Julie. Here's a few more of Sunrise. And here's the Sweetheart, which was actually looking very, very good. prior to the rainstorm. It was like in full bloom, pretty healthy, kind of minimal powdery mildew, but it's looking pretty off right now. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, the timing on it is just really kind of horrible. It was in full bloom during this heavy kind of, you know, 2-day storm that we had. So we'll see what happens with this. Some fungal, some might be spent or damaged blooms from the cold and the rain, and not necessarily fungal issue, but we'll see. At least this sweet tart branch is not looking too great, but we'll see if anything holds up fruits. Okay, here's the next tree. Here's Pineapple Pleasure, which is on its second bloom flush. Still looking pretty good so far. Here's Ice Cream, also on its second bloom flush. So we'll see what happens. This Ice Cream, you can tell with its very skinny leaves. This is Harvest Moon. Not looking great, but hasn't been looking great for some time. And this is Alfonso, also not looking that great. This is Valkyrie. I probably need to do some major kind of trimming on this branch. It's just a bit way too weepy. This right here is Honey Kiss. Very kind of slow grower. Here's the Golden Queen, Jin Huang. First bloom is done for. Looks like it's sending out possibly some mixed bloom right now. Here's Malika right here. Malika. And right there is Ambrosia. Just looking pretty nice. Here's a Juliet. Has kind of pinkish spotted blooms, not as deep red as Super Julie, but it's a bit more redder than most varieties. There's some more peach cobbler. This was Diamond. It looks like all the stems fell off. The blooms got damaged pretty early on in the season, but the dried up stems were still there, but they all kind of fell off. This is Pineapple Pleasure. Not looking great in terms of the bloom. The graft itself is looking pretty good. So we'll see. I'm not sure what I want to do with this. If I want to try to see if I could get a second bloom or just let it be, let it get larger. But this is Pineapple Pleasure. This right here is Maha Chinook. So that one branch that hasn't done anything. It's still dormant. And I got another branch. Well, this branch is more vertical, hasn't done nothing. This branch has been more kind of spreading, and this has been blooming. We'll see if anything holds. So let's see. This is Safida Lucknow. Blooms still look pretty good, but again, it's all a matter of kind of a bit of luck, depending on timing of the bloom. Just a couple weeks difference makes a big deal whether you get fruit or not. So this one's which one is this again? Oh, this one's Sindri. Yeah, this one's Sindri, still completely dormant. Pretty interesting. We'll see what happens when it flushes, if it ends up flushing vegetative or flowers, but still completely dormant. It's pretty nice, getting to a pretty nice sized graft. This is Sharinta, also known as raw honey, also pretty dormant, so interesting. Okay, on to the next tree. This right here is orange sherbet. Some signs of fungal, but still pretty clean. Not looking too bad. Orange sherbet right here. This is Giselle, which is pretty much done for in terms of the blooms. I don't really need it to try to rebloom. I do want some vegetation on it here going forward. This is Saint Talone guava. Unfortunately, it seems a little powdery mildew prone. It did send out blooms, and the good thing is also sent out vegetative flush. But look at it, it was like hit pretty bad with powdery mildew. I had to spray it. Here's another Super Julie graft, but the graft's not doing too well. It's not really growing properly. Let's see, this is a Ceci Love. I have found Ceci Love to be pretty fungal prone, at least in my area. So that's a bit unfortunate, but I found it to be pretty fungal prone here. Whether it's some sort of other fungal issues and combination of powdery mildew, seems like both. Here's Malika. Not too bad, but some of it's showing signs of powdery mildew. But the blooms has been just like, it hasn't been very healthy. All my Malika's bloom has been like the short kind of blooms, and this same thing, been like that a couple years in a row. And here is more sweet tart. You can see the damage. And this one looks still pretty clean, but we'll see if these set fruit, the sweet tart. It's supposed to be pretty fungal resistant, still set fruit through all kinds of issues, so see what happens with the sweet tart. This is N12. The blooms are finally kind of a bit more mature. Just noticed that it's pretty nice and kind of pinkish, so N12. This is Nam Dak Mai Mun. There's still some bloom stalks on here. Bloom a bit early, it's kind of done for. There's some buds pushing. Let's see. I mean, Nam Dak Mai Mun, I have a few grafts of it, so if this sends out blooms, I'm okay with it. I'll try to see if it's fruit. Here's a Duncan, had the first blooms on it, the damage came off. And here's my Giselle. Unfortunately, it's not looking too good. lots of wind damage, rain damage, fungal damage. Okay. This is Prom Chimea right here. See what's going on here. This is a little gem right here. This is the E-Wise, and had an initial bloom stock. Looks like it's reblooming again, unfortunately. Very tiny grafts I have, so didn't really want to see that. Super Julie right here. See some little, some little kind of fruitlets. Let's see what happens. Okay, Super Julie. This is Carla right here. And then this is Thai variety called Tom Pecan. So that's how this tree looked like. Unfortunately, this tree, I had a lot of issue with it because of several failed grafts. So you could see it's probably one of the one of the more worst shaped tree in my yard, just because so many fell grass, and that kind of stunts it a bit and messes up kind of the shaping of it and everything. So okay, this is St. Maui. Fortunately, I'm gonna have to do some major pruning on this. It's just like too dense of a canopy, kind of weepy, kind of going too horizontal. So I'm gonna have to do some major pruning. But here you can see the blooms, powdery mildew symptoms. But it's interesting. I got some pure vegetative growth, and with St. Maui, like a healthy leaf, that's so pretty. Like it's the most intensely kind of pinkish red new leaves on any of the varieties I grow. I mean, just look at that. When the leaves are healthy, that's how it looks like. But again, I'm already seeing symptoms of like fungal on the leaves. So this St. Maui there's lots of pure blooms, mixed blooms like this, and then vegetative growth. There's some more. Some of this new growth is wind, cold damage. But I'll probably be needing to spray this again for powdery mildew. It seems pretty prone. This is Iman Pasan. These little skinny stems here. Excellent fruit, but just a probably dwarf growing variety. Okay, this is my seedling selection. California Remit. It seems like it got hit by fungal and powdery mildew pretty badly. More badly than any of the other ones, so not really sure what happened here. But there's a bunch of tiny fruitlets on it. I'm not sure if they're gonna be healthy fruits or anything like that. So my experience with this variety, it does set lots of nubbins if you get like fungal issues with it. But usually it's not too bad like this with powdery mildew, but it is next to a Love that is very, very prone to all kinds of fungal issue. You could see already with these, whether it's some kind of black fungal issues when it's more rainy, or whether it's like a powdery mildew when it's more dry. It's just not really that disease resistant in my yard, fortunately. It's supposed to be disease resistant from what I hear from reports out in Florida, but not too much here for me, I guess. Okay, here's some fruitlets. I mean, it increased in size. We'll see. Not sure if it's gonna finish holding up. But this is like from a fruit set in December. This is the California Remit seedling I have. So still a few of those fruits holding. The one I bagged, it does stay a bit more green, but everything else kind of been a bit more yellow. Not sure if it holds. Okay. This is the Pre-Saigon on its second bloom flush. Okay. This right here is Bombay. Very powdery mildew prone, from what I could tell. Just kind of look at it. It gets attacked even before any blooms open up. And this is a more Golden Queen, Jin Huang. Have not picked off these panicos, trying to delay any second blooming on it. This is fruit punch, fruit cocktail right here. This one's fruit cocktail. Again, have not picked any of this off. Just kind of hoping it delays the second rebloom on it. This right here is Zebda. The bloom's damaged and came off. This one is Zebda. Still dormant. Has not flushed anything. So we'll see what happens with that. So on to the next tree. Right here is Cac. So Cac's been pretty fungal prone. But look at this right here. See all these fungal issue, but there's still fruitlets. So we'll see. I mean, my experience with fungal damages like this is that these are going to set a bunch of nubbins. But pretty interesting. I mean, this is pretty bad fungal issue, combination with some powdery mildew. But look at the fruit set on it. They're mostly going to be like smaller size nubbins, but still pretty impressive. So we'll see. Sometimes on some blooms, some varieties, they get all these fungal issue, and they never, like the flowers never open. They just kind of get decimated, never open. There's nothing. So I mean, cactus is supposed to be a very disease resistant variety, but it could be one of those where you see all these fungal issues, but then they still set a combination of nubbins and full-size fruits. So I'm seeing quite a bit of that on everything. So just because it does get fungal and powdery mildew issue doesn't mean that it doesn't set fruit. Some varieties do, some varieties don't. And here is Super G, which is nice and red. It's damaged, but we'll see what happens. Looks like lots of the blooms are still kind of brownish, damaged, but it's kind of a bit hard to tell because of how deep red the blooms is. So fungal damage, fruit set hopefully, but we'll see what happens. This is Super Julie. I have quite a few Super Julie grafts. This is Cotton Candy. Cotton Candy, not as clean as it was just a couple of weeks, like a week ago, or less than a week ago, but I mean, not too bad. Not too bad. Cotton Candy. Right here's Floygon. Very kind of, at least in my yard, it's been pretty fungal prone. Powdery mildew, it's not powdery mildew, it's some kind of black fungal issue, but here it's supposed to be pretty disease resistant in both kind of Florida and California. So I'm a bit surprised. Maybe this isn't Floygon, and they got some scions mixed up together. That kind of stuff happens when you order things. So we'll see. I mean, I won't really know if this is Fungal until it sets some sort of fruit, but I haven't been able to get to set fruit last year or this year. We'll see. Maybe I have a better chance, but supposedly it's Fungal, but who knows. I'm beginning to have some doubts that maybe some of my scions for this one got mixed up. This is Juliet. You can see all these little kind of fruitlets. Some are sizing up a little bit, but yeah, quite a bit. Look at this. But I had that same experience with Juliet last year. There was a bunch of little fruitlets, and they all kind of got to pea size, and then within like a week or so, they all end up dropping when they were developing. Like they definitely set fruit, but they end up just all dropping. And this is a lemon zest. Oh, this right here. But lemon zest seems a bit bizarre to me. It's just no female blooms, pretty much. I mean, the only one I could kind of tell would had any kind of female blooms it's this one right here, which has just on this side. I mean, everything else I don't see any female blooms. So, but in terms of fungal issue, it hasn't been as bad as I kind of heard or read about. So who knows? It might just be my yard, or but it hasn't been as bad. I mean, this is the browning. It's mostly spent blooms. Maybe some little bit of cold damage, but it's mostly just spent blooms on this. Alright, so Up next, this is Graham. This is Graham. It's kind of on its second bloom already. It is on its second bloom already. First bloom didn't really make it. This is supposed to be a Julie seedling, Graham. Supposed it came from Julie, but unfortunately, unlike some of my other Julie lineage, which is pretty disease resistant, this one seems to be pretty prone to both like powdery mildew and some sort of whatever blackish kind of fungal issue. But it does grow pretty vigorously, so that's a good thing. And the fruit is very delicious and seems to be easy to pick. You could pick it kind of very mature green, at least here, and it ripens properly. So Graham is one that is pretty interesting to kind of try out because of its vigor and the easiness of picking the fruit, but possibly a bit more, the blooms could possibly be a bit more fungal prone. Okay, so that is my update on everything so far. I might have another update mid-month just because there's lots of stuff going on with blooms and everything. So, alright, thanks for checking this out.